welcome to our annual meeting of Plastic Surgery Addicts Anonymous. I see a lot of new faces tonight, and that's disappointing. Just kidding. Namaste, hello, and welcome to our live showcase night. Before we start the program, I'd like you to keep in mind some Zoom guidelines. So if all of you can keep your microphone muted and disable your video, you can find that on the left-hand side bottom corner. And it is recommended that you watch our show with the hide non-video participants checked off. And you can access that by going to the caret next to stop video, click on video settings, and then go to meetings and click on hide non-video participants. And the best way to watch our show is through gallery view. All right. Please look around and identify your nearest exit in case of emergency. If you need to use the restrooms, we have restrooms of varying quality. With the one over there, not so good, but the rest are all really nice. And hey, we don't have to wear a mask for this show. Hi, I'm Millie Thomas, and I'm an actress myself, and I will be your host tonight. Just wanted to say that I wanted to do the show because we're all going through such challenging times and confusing times. And during such times, turning to the arts brings me relief, comfort, strength, and joy. And I hope it does that for you too. I'm super excited to bring you 13 talented performers that will be doing monologues and stand-up comedy. We have bookended a selection of 11 monologues with 4 minutes of stand-up comedy at the beginning of the show and at the end of the show. Each monologue will be about a minute or two. And after each actor performs, I will be asking them a question. So get ready, get comfortable, and enjoy this ride with us for the next 1 hour-ish. Before we start, I have one question for you. What is the difference between COVID and Romeo and Juliet? One is coronavirus and the other is Verona crisis. I can see some of my family members shaking their head. Millie, no, stand-up comedy is not for you, but it is for our first performer. E. Umbris de Colosio, AKA Mex-E-King, grew up a migrant kid working the fields alongside his parents. He always dreamed of being an actor. It took him many years, but he went to college, acquired a theater degree, and since then, he has amassed 20 studio network credits, most notably Pixar's Cars 3, San Andreas, starring Dwayne Johnson, and hit shows NCIS, Emmy-winning American Crime, and most recent, SWAT. E. Umbris also performs stand-up comedy under the stage name Mex-E-King. As Mex-E-King, he sheds light on life as a Latino in America. You can follow E on Instagram to track when his next on-camera or stage appearances will be. Here is E. Umbris de Colosio.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? First off, I want to ask if you guys would be willing to go ahead and unmute your mics for my portion. And I believe later on, Eerie's going to be asking the same thing, because as comics, we want to hear you laugh or not laugh. I don't know, but at least some possibility of a chuckle will be there for us. Yeah, man. But so thanks a lot for everybody being here, coming out. I mean, things are crazy right now, right? I mean, we are in a crazy time. I think, man, like we're in a place right now where there's like a special kind of stupid going on, like in America. Don't you all think? I mean, like, it's not just stupid. It's special. It's like we're fighting over wearing masks. Like it's like Bloods and the Crips are fighting right now, you know, over mask wearing. But the difference is that the Bloods in the Crips, they wear masks. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man. It's crazy though being a minority, right? Like before, if I wore a mask, you guys thought I was a menace to society. Now, if I wear a mask, you think I'm a responsible member of society. Things have changed. You know? Sorry, man. But nah, it's crazy though. Like I said, but the special kind of soup is just out there. Like I saw a dude wearing a mask while driving his car by himself. I mean, I thought to myself, that's the same dude who's masturbating using a condom. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not gonna work. That's not how it works, people. You know, these are instructions here. And also, like you know, the other special stupid right now, that whole like all lives matter response. I'm like, I mean, come on, do they? I mean, are all lives really matter? I mean, you know, Carol Baskin, you know, Joe Exotic. I'm not so sure those lives matter that much. You know what I mean? Any contestant on The Bachelor, I'm not so sure. But people don't get the whole all lives matter thing. I'm like, I told my buddy, I'm like, yo, you don't understand what all lives matter or why that's a problem. It's because, like, go think about this. If your wife or your girlfriend asks you, hey, have I gained any weight? You say, oh, that's all right, babe. All pounds matter. You know, you ain't gonna get a good response on that. You know what I mean? But man, it's crazy. It's crazy just how much we go through in the stupidity that's out there right now. You know, like people keep like blaming Mexicans for stealing jobs. I'm like, really? Are we stealing jobs? Do you think if we could steal jobs, we wouldn't have stole police jobs by now? Or how about immigration agent jobs? You know, we would have took those jobs already and kept ourselves safe. You know, that's the other response we get. Blue lives matter. Look, I got nothing against the police. I dated a cop. I figured if you can't beat them, join them. You know, and it was a trip too. Like the first time, like we were going out, right? And the first time we had sex, she took me to her room and she pulls out her handcuff. And I was like, babe, what are you doing? And she's like, what? This is most guys' fantasy. And I'm like, babe, I'm Latino. This ain't a fantasy. This is a reality. You know, that's not what we're doing today. Okay, I dated you to stay out of handcuffs. You know, but we had this discussion about blue lives, and I was like, look, babe, you're not a Smurf. You weren't born blue. You know what I mean? That's how I see Papa Smurf or those people from Avatar. Am I gonna believe there's some blue lives out there? You know, like if you're a cop, you get paid. You get health insurance. At the end of 20 years, you get a pension plan. You know, you can retire being a cop. I was like, minorities, man, we don't get no health benefits. It's a health hazard. You know what I'm saying? Like, and after 20 years, there's no pension plan. There's a penitentiary plan. That's we don't retire from this color. You know what I mean? That's what you don't get, man. White folks, you don't get it sometimes, man. Like, you guys got it good. You guys got it so good. Like Crayola made a white crayon. When was the last time you used a white crayon, people? Like, come on, you know? But nah, man. But like, one thing I don't like, so politically correct, like, I go by Mex-E-King to remind everybody that all my Latinos and Latinas, that we come from kings and queens. You know, Aztecs, Mayans, and all the kings and queens. And, you know, you can be a Mex-E-King, you can be a Mex-E-Queen. Sometimes Mex-E-Kings are on the week and Mex-E-Queens on the weekend. You know what I mean? You can change it up. It's okay. But the thing I don't like is Latinx.
Yes.
Don't call me Latinx, man. No. I hate that. Like, Latinx sounds like a bootleg porno you get out the supermercado. You know what I mean? I ain't Latinx. Even worse, it sounds like a pesticide to get rid of Mexicans. You know, the Latinx, you spray it on the wall, you know, keep the immigration down. Don't X me out. Or Latinx. I hate Latinx too, because that just sounds like a racist Kleenex. You know what I mean? Like, Latinx for the brown booger. You know what I mean? I don't like Latinx, man. I'm Chicano, I'm Mexican, you know, but like I said, it's hard being a minority right now, but we all got to get along because we're all a little racist sometimes too. I've been racist before myself, trust me. Like, I mean, I saw an Asian dude who was homeless, and I was like, damn, you know how to do math or what, homie? You know what I mean? That's messed up. I shouldn't think like that.
Part of your nuts.
But yeah, but before I go, I just want to remind us one thing. Like, if people, I heard somebody say we got to boycott white-owned businesses, and I'm like, that's stupid. Special kind of stupid. Let's not do that. the way, ladies, you guys have the power to make a revolution right now. You got to boycott. Don't boycott white-owned businesses. Boycott white-owned penises. Okay, stop dating the white boys. All right, that's what I'm trying to tell you. With that stuff. Don't trust me. Once you brown skin, Latin, black, or all ethnicity women, stop dating them. Promise you, there's gonna be a lot of laws changed. I promise you that real quick. But yeah. So, anyways, I think I'm running out of time right now. So, you know, I'm just gonna leave you with one quick dad joke because Millie started with a dad joke. So I'm gonna leave you one last one. Why don't women blink during foreplay? Because they don't have enough time.
That was good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mex-E-King. Thank you. Let's bring back Millie for you right here.
Hey. Way to start our show, E. That was entertaining, thought-provoking, and so truthful. I think 3 things that I take is don't do stupid, no white penises, and pounds don't matter. Yes.
Right. Yeah, every pound matters. That's every pound matters.
Every pound matters. Yes. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. So I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. What is one thing that has surprised you most during this season?
During this time, I think the most surprising thing is how lonely it can be. Like I'm single. I don't have a family and all that, and so I didn't realize how social I was. So I thought I was very independent. I thought I was very like, oh, I don't need anybody, and I didn't realize how much I'm not at my house until I started to clean my house because I had all this time. So yeah, I think that was the most interesting thing. Like, wow, I actually realizing how much I get my social connection with other circles. So, and then finding, wow, I am not as much of a lone wolf as I thought I was, because when I had to be stuck in a house for 4 weeks by myself, I did not like it. Yeah.
I totally get you. There are a lot of people struggling with that loneliness. But thank you so much, E. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our next performer has a bachelor's degree in neuroscience and is currently studying Chinese medicine, but will probably only tell you that she's a quirky, fun-loving actress. She has trained in film, theater, and improv. She's currently taking classes at the Hive Storytelling Studio run by Vijay Rajan. Her monologue was part of a banned play by Shakespeare, in which riots broke out on the streets of London as English natives demand that immigrants be removed from their country. I'm really glad that kind of thing ended in Shakespeare's time. She is playing Sir Thomas More, a deputy sheriff who attempts to talk reason to the rioters that are looting and demanding that immigrants be removed. Here is Deanna Shinsky.
Grant them removed, and grant that this your noise hath chid down all the majesty of England. Imagine, you see the wretched strangers, their babies at their backs and their poor luggage, plodding to the ports and coasts for transportation, and you sit as kings in your desires. Authority quite silenced by your brawl, and you, in ruff of your opinions, clothed. What had you got? I'll tell you. You had taught how insolence and strong hand should prevail, how order should be quelled, and by that same pattern, not one of you should live an aged man, for other ruffians as their fancies wrought would shark on you, and men like ravenous fishes feed on one another. Say now, the king should so much come too short of your great trespass as but to banish you. Whither would you go? What country by the nature of your era should give you harbor? Go you to France or Flanders, to any German province, nay, anywhere that not adheres to England, why you must needs be strangers? Would you be pleased to find a nation of such barbarous temper that breaking out in hideous violence would not afford you an abode on earth, whet their detested knives against your throats, spurn you like dogs, and like as if that God owed not, nor made not you, nor that the elements were not all appropriate to your comforts, but charted onto them? What would you think to be thus used? This is the stranger's case, and this your mountainish inhumanity. Thank you.
Wow, Deanna, what a remarkable performance.
Thank
Love
you.
the costume.
Don't
love
mind
the
if I
whole
do.
shebang. See, you grew it fast and you could take it fast out.
Quarantine, man. Grows fast, take it off fast.
That was really good. I was convinced. I have a
thank
question for you.
Sure.
Is there any hobby or habit that you have developed during this quarantine, for better or worse?
Wow, you're really making me expose it all. I think snacking has always been a problem, but now that I'm home all the time and the fridge is literally like, 5 steps away, it's an issue. But it's also an opportunity to work out more. So, finding that balance. But yeah, actually a lot of good stuff has come out of quarantine for me. Like spending time with family hasn't been very painful, and it's been very enjoyable time. And I hope we can get out and be healthy and come back together again soon.
Thank you, Deanna. That was really good.
Thank you so much, Millie. You're doing a great job. And hi, all my friends. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Our next actor, in honing his craft in the Bay Area for more than 20 years. He's been in several small films, short films, worked as a voice actor, and has a co-star appearance in the Hulu TV drama Chance. He has also performed in a number of stage productions, including the challenging, multifaceted role of Father Flynn in the play Doubt by John Patrick Shanley, from which he'll be performing his monologue. In this monologue, his character is giving a sermon to his congregation. Here is Bruce Blau.
A woman was gossiping with her friends about a man she barely knew. I know none of you have ever done this. And that night she had a dream. She dreamed that a great hand appeared above her bed and pointed down at her. And she was immediately seized with an overwhelming sense of guilt. So the next day she went to confession. She got the parish priest, Father O'Rourke. Tell me, Father, is gossiping a sin? Was the hand of Almighty God pointing a finger at me? Tell me, Father, have I done something wrong? Yes, said the priest. Yes, you ignorant, badly brought up female. You have borne false witness against your neighbor. Played fast and loose with his reputation. You should be heartily ashamed. So she said she was sorry and asked forgiveness. Not so fast, said the priest. I want you to go home, take a pillow up onto your roof and stab it with a knife. Then come back and see me. So she went home, took a knife from the kitchen, a pillow from her bed, climbed up onto the roof and stabbed the pillow. So the next day she returns to the priest as ordered. Did you gut the pillow? He asked. Yes, Father. And what was the result? Feathers, she said. Feathers. Feathers everywhere. Now, I'd like you to go back home and I'd like you to gather up every last feather that flew out onto the wind. Well, it can't be done. The feathers flew every which way. I don't know where they went. And that, said the priest, is gossip. Thank you very much.
Wow, that was such a powerful performance, Bruce. I think
Thank
I
you.
got my Sunday sermon in. I don't have to feel guilty. Thank you, Jesus. All right. I have a really good question for you. And as an
Please.
actor, I'm interested to know. I'm just curious. What was the process of becoming this character of playing Father Flynn for you on stage? Because his character is, did he do it? Did he not do it? Right?
Well, I approach any role just trying to be honest with it. But this one had a very interesting twist. The director actually cast, or she created, 2 casts. One cast would perform the play with the priest guilty, the other cast with the priest innocent. So in your mind, you know, as you are doing the play, whether you're guilty or not. So I was given, thankfully, the innocent priest.
Okay.
And at the end of the production, they asked the audience whether they believed the priest or whether they didn't believe the priest. And it was 50-50.
That is good.
That is good. The author actually, that was his intent. He wanted to actually create doubt in the minds of the audience, and apparently we pulled it off.
That's great. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yes. The next performer moved to Dublin in the 90s for 3 months to try her hand in acting. She ended up staying for just another 10 more years, after which she took a break to get her master's degree in marriage family therapy and returned back to training about 4 years ago. She's taking some Southern Belle liberties with this monologue, and she's made it her own. This piece is from the TV show American Horror Story. Here is Patricia Deery.
Adelaide, Adelaide, I put on Dora the Explorer for you so that you would sit and watch it. Oh, hi, I'm your next door neighbor, Constance, and this is my girl, Adelaide. Now go home, Addie, now. That girl is a monster. Oh, no, I love her, and I'm a good Christian woman, but Jesus H. Christ, if they had invented those little tests a few years ago, I would have. Oh, you left your back door open, but I gotta tell you, Adelaide would have found a way in. She's had a bug up her ass about this house, always has. Oh, you have some lovely things. Do you have a dog? I run a little kennel next door, a little doggy daycare kind of thing. I would prefer a purebred, but in my home, mongrels are always welcome. So, oh, what lovely earrings. Are those real diamonds? Not that home shopping shit, huh? I used to have real diamonds. Are you Southern? I'm a proud Virginian, Old Dominion born and bred. I came out here to be a movie star. Yeah, I got the screen test and everything, but in those days, nudity was a big deal. Morals were beginning to collapse. And I wasn't about to flash my green pasture 70 feet high for every man, woman, and child to see. So I took that little butterfly of a dream and put it in a jar on the shelf, and soon after my special needs girl arrived, so I couldn't really work much after that. Oh, I brought you this. It's a little housewarming gift. Now, Addie did want to bake you a pie, but she tends to into the cooking, so I thought this might be better. You know, get rid of some of that bad juju. So relax and enjoy, and let me know if you need any help with that. But oh my, she just slammed the door in my face. Oh, okay. Bye now. Thank you.
Oh, Patricia, your accent. And I love the spin you took on this character because we know better, right? That was
Yes.
really fun. And I think that was such a memorable performance.
Thank you.
So thank you for that. So I have a question for you too.
Mhm.
What is that you have learned about yourself during this sheltering in place?
That you can make lemonade, AKA margarita, out of lemons. And even though this whole quarantine thing is not, my first choice or any of ours, the whole online community through social media, connecting with friends, connecting with family, making new friends, that was unexpected. So it's kind of it is a positive in an otherwise maybe not so great situation. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Millie. Thank you.
Hey guys, I just want to tell you the chat is blowing up. I think all you performers should read the chat. All right. Our next performer was a fashion model, is an actor, an accomplished painter, a former businessman, and an environmentalist. He launched into his acting career as he had worked high couture in Europe, commercials in the US, and earned his union cards when he has several film TV credits and his name, he has both a manager from LA and New York and an agent from SF, LA, and Albuquerque. His monologue is from the movie Apollo 13, where his character reflects upon an impactful experience from World War II while he was stranded in space and not knowing if he'll ever get home. Here is Steve Nichols. Steve, you may want to turn on your video.
There we are. So, yeah, I remember this one time I was in a Banshee, combat conditions. It was at night. Sea of Japan. Shangri-La was a carrier. And my radar wasn't working. I realized later that someone was on my same frequency. So I decided to flip on my map light. Bam! All of a sudden my instruments went out. I blew a fuse. And I didn't have any instruments. I knew I was running low on fuel. I'm looking down into this deep black sea. I was thinking of ditching it. And as I was looking down, I saw this light, this phosphorescent stuff, this trail, like the stuff that gets churned up in the wake of a big ship. And it was this carpet. It was leading me back to my carrier. If I didn't blow my fuse and I had no instruments, I never would have gotten home. So you never know what will transpire to get you back home. Thank you.
Wow, Steve, that was so moving. What a beautiful way to tell us to hold on to hope. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
What spoke to you about Apollo 13?
Well, I like this because it spoke to me because my father was in World War II, he got shot down in the South Pacific a few times and had to ditch it. He never knew if he was going to make it home or who was going to pick him up. And what really flipped it for me was I was flying in a plane in the tropics. We had no fuel. We were in a really bad storm, almost hurricane conditions. We couldn't land the plane because you couldn't see the runway. Even on instruments, you get down and it was a gray out, so much rain. Fourth attempt or last attempt, the pilot brought it down and we landed, thank God. It was a foot deep of water on the tarmac. That's how crazy this storm was. So you never know what'll happen, so you can get home.
narrow escape. Wow, glad you're alive. Glad you're here. Thank you so
Me
much,
too.
Dee.
Thank you.
Our next performer works in the Bay Area and LA. She's an award-winning actress and producer who has appeared in dozens of films and TV shows, both in English and in Spanish. Her soothing voice had also been featured in Highlights magazine and Pure Edge Inc. video. Though she has a passion for comedy, she has a dark side that can show up and make your hair stand on end. Must be all that Argentinian passion. She will be performing a monologue called Pepito is Missing, written by Elizabeth Aaron. Here is Solana Paz.
Ay, pero carajo, ¿quién golpea la puerta? Oh, it's you. Thank God, Mr. Police Officer. You are Officer Oliphant. That's like a cross between Oliver and Elephant. Oliphant. Such a cute last name. And aren't you strong and handsome? I can't believe I just said that. Forget it. If you want to. I mean, never mind. Dios mío, my little Pepito is missing. He has 4 legs and a tail. He has brown eyes, a tan coat. He's about 8 inches high, and he has the cutest part. Aren't you taking notes? You should be taking notes. It looks like Pepito was stolen. Come see. Everything is turned upside down. I just don't understand it. I double lock my door when I leave. There's good security in the building, and there's nothing like good security, especially with an officer like you nearby. Oliphant, ay, qué fuerte, hombre. Wait, don't open that door. Pepito, there you are. Oh, you naughty boy. Qué susto. How did you get yourself locked in there? Ay, te quiero, chiquitito, lindo. Officer Oliphant, you saved the day. I'm forever in your debt. Let me make you some paella. Please, I insist. It's the least I can do. Thank you.
What a fun and lovely performance. Okay, a girl got to do what a girl's got to do. I love your proactivity. I hope he gives you a number, and if you don't want it, we can talk.
Let's talk.
Yeah. All right, that was cool. What is something that has kept you sane during this quarantine period?
Sane. Well, sanity was never really a big part of my life in the first place. No, I see where you're going. So one of the things I went back to doing is crafts. I have always been quite crafty, so I started making things like building a table or with pipes and such, or painting things. I decided to produce the Father's Day video that is like, there were like 63 people involved, 19 cameras, it was crazy. So trying to stay creative. Started studying comedy, specifically comedy with Tony Rego, and that has been fascinating. So I think that those things, staying creative and laughing, have kept me sane.
I think comedy and improv. Laugh is best medicine, they say. That's the reason and the season. Yes. Thank you so much, Solana.
Thank you, Millie. Thank you, everyone.
Our next performer didn't have any interest in acting whatsoever until he took his first class when he was 41. He believes it's never too late to start. I agree with that. He studied improv and sketch comedy at the Groundlings and Upright Citizen Brigade in LA. He's a father to a teenage daughter who has recently started calling him bro. And he can't figure out if it's a term of endearment or if she's being disrespectful. His monologue is from the movie Ides of March, which is a political drama. He plays the campaign manager. Here is Patrick Chou.
No, Stephen, you didn't make a mistake. You made a choice. You chose not to tell me. First campaign I ran, tiny little race in Kentucky. Everyone thought we didn't stand a chance. The guy running a congressional campaign gives me a call, says, why don't you come work for me? What do I do? Well, Stephen, this is where you and I are different. I told Sam about the call. We lost the race, but 3 years later, when Sam decided to run for governor, who do you think he called? We won that race. There's only one thing I value in this world, Steve. That's loyalty. That's why I'm letting you go, not because you're not good enough, but I value trust over skill. And I don't trust you anymore. Thank you.
Patrick, I felt your character's disappointment. He must have really messed up.
Big time. Yeah.
Big time, yeah. That was impressive. It looks like we've had 2 monologues of Philip Seymour Hoffman. I guess it's our way of paying our tribute and respect to him.
He's a great actor.
He was a great actor. What a loss. What a shame, right? Would you like to share something new you discovered during sheltering in place?
Well, you know, I was thinking, I feel like I'm the opposite of Mex-E-King, because he was saying like he was getting like real lonely. I actually have been kind of enjoying the solitude, you know? I got some writing done, been taking a lot of online classes. I've been making the best of it, actually.
That's good. You've been productive.
Kind of, yeah.
Thank you so much, Patrick.
Thanks so much, Millie. Thank you, everyone.
Our next performer is a model, an actress who has worked in commercials, short films, and features both in San Francisco and Los Angeles. She also works as a casting director and is currently casting for an award-winning web series in Roku. She says she's been trying to keep her sanity while sheltering in place by learning ukulele, weekly Zoom with her 3 siblings who live out of the state or out of the country, and participating in many of the creative challenges on the internet, just like this one. She can hardly wait to hug them and squeeze them. Her monologue is an original piece. It was written as part of a challenge that required an original written story regarding COVID experiences. Her character is convinced that she should be awarded the same special privileges set in place during COVID, but she's clearly not convincing enough those in charge. Nina thought about how she used to try to get into nightclubs when she was underage, and now her character is trying to do the same to pass for older. Here is Nina Martina.
I know what it is to be excluded. Being the only brown girl in my class. Brown was my maiden name, but I was the only brown girl in my class. See, I've been around long enough where that sort of thing was tolerated, common even. Excluding people, just like this. Now I know that you think that I'm much younger than I actually am. I get carded at the club all the time. But rest assured, I am of the required age limit for admittance now. And I was a candy striper in high school, and that's practically a first responder, right? Yeah? Fine. I'll wait an hour while the old biddy shop first. Thank you.
No words. That was so great. But good try, Nina. You'll have to wait some more years to earn that privilege.
Yeah, not that long, girl.
Thanks for sharing that piece. Here's a question. How have you found a viable routine during the sheltering in place to keep you productive?
Oh my goodness, yes, of course. I've had to because, like the first part, it was sort of like, oh, it's like honeymoon. I'm on vacation. I can just relax. But then I realized that staying in my pajamas in the entire day probably wasn't a very productive thing. So I had to get a routine down that really kind of worked. And, so that actually helped keep my sanity and just being able to know that I could go out and take a beautiful walk. I live out in Monterey, so I have beautiful beaches and stuff to walk on and exercise and just keep in touch on a regular basis with people and that sort of thing. And yeah, that really helped. And just, of course, like the creative challenges and all of that too, and using that time for that. So yeah, it's been good.
Monterey is beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Thank you so much, Nina.
Thank you, Millie.
Our next performer has been a professional actress in the Bay Area and LA for over 25 years. She's known for her work on the TV show Torchwood on Stars, as well as on the shows I Almost Got Away with It, Wives and Knives, and Love Kills. She's the voice of Global Travel Corporation, BCD Travel. But one of the things I like about her the most is that she started her company, the Bay to LA Network for Actors, in 2016 that helps fellow artists to connect with industry professionals. Kristi is a wife, mother, and when she's not busy running her organization, you can find her in the garden listening to her audiobooks. With a monologue from the pilot First Cut, her character plays a chief of surgery. Here is Kristi Swensson Burdsall.
I want you all to think of me not only as a boss, but as a friend. If each of you does not reach your potential, I will consider it a failure on my part. I do not like to fail. They say doctors have God complexes. You know why? Because we are gods. We make hearts beat. We make lungs breathe. We make feeble men walk. We make blind men see. We perform miracles every day. Never forget that. We perform miracles. As surgeons, you're going to encounter everything. So as interns, you need to get familiar with everything. Internal medicine, emergency medicine, obstetrics, orthopedics, neurology, gastroenterology. Every day you're going to be paged by doctors of different specialties, and they're all going to have the same expectations of you. You're going to exceed those expectations. You're going to crush those expectations. You're going to obliterate those expectations. You're about to work harder than you've ever worked. And you're going to sleep less than you've ever slept. But if you apply yourself, you're going to learn more than you've ever learned. And you're going to be better than you've ever been. And that's all I ask. Be better. Be the best. Welcome to Denver Memorial. Thank you.
What an inspiring and realistic performance, Kristi. I felt like I was in Grey's Anatomy. Only thing I was looking for McDreamy. Didn't find him. No, hopefully. That was really sweet. Okay. Can you tell the audience a little more about your organizations? Because if there are any actors over there and who'd like to know more, that would be great.
Absolutely. Our goal is to connect anyone who's even remotely interested in acting with classes and with industry professionals in Los Angeles. So even if you're starting out acting, or if you've been acting for a while and you want to work professionally, that's our goal, is to connect you with people who can help you on your way. And we offer weekly classes. Right now, everything's via Zoom. So there's weekly acting classes and there's weekly self-tape classes and all kinds of stuff. So betalaactorsnetwork.com.
Thank you. And
Thank
I've
you.
been part of those classes, so it's really good. Thank you so much. In the summer of 2017, our next performer's wife encouraged him to audition a local theater. He listened to his wife, and a week later, he was booked for his first role as a part of the ensemble for Beauty and the Beast. He was hooked, don't blame him, proving that wives always know the best. That's right. Another skill he possesses is being fluent in ASL. In this monologue, he's standing on a baseball pitcher's mound, giving an eulogy to the people who have gathered together to remember his friend who died. This is Derek Crowe.
When we were still freshmen in Illinois, and Ben and I, we just met Mike and Ethan. Well, the four of us decided to take a drive to Chicago for the weekend. And Ben, he insisted that we take the surface streets the whole way there. I said, man, that's crazy. It's going to take us twice the time, and there must be 10,000 traffic lights between Champaign and Chicago. But Ben insisted. He said, with the interstate, you know what you're going to get. A straight line and a lot of fast food. But on the road with traffic lights, it's a different story. He said, sometimes the light's green and you enjoy the open road and you just wonder what might be out there waiting for you. And sometimes the light's yellow, where you slow down, you catch your bearings, and you ask yourself if this is someplace you'd like to stop. And then sometimes the light's red, where you take a moment. You take a look around and you realize that where you are, it's already pretty great. It's in fact exactly where you need to be. Of course, the trip that should have taken 3 hours took 10. But on that trip, the four of us formed a lifelong friendship. You know, we miss Ben every day. But he left us with many gifts. And the greatest of those gifts was our friendship. We love you, Ben. Thank you.
No words. What a sensitive, what a fine performance, Derek.
Thank you, Millie.
Thank you for that. I'm sure there is a lot of us who can relate to somebody who we lost during the season or an untimely death. So losing friends must be hard. That was really good. Thank you for that. What is one thing that has surprised you about quarantine?
For me personally, being a father of three, well, two that are in school, was the willingness for these teachers to really step up their game and, you know, start creating these online agendas and having Zoom classrooms and just really putting their best foot forward to overcome all these obstacles that they're facing. And it really helped me realize, you know, my appreciation for teachers, you know, because trying to do the homeschool thing was a really dramatic shift. And, you know, they're like, oh, it's just mom and dad, we're at home, blah, blah, blah. But when you get the teacher online, oh, you know, it's down to business. So to all you teachers out there, I really appreciate all the effort y'all put in and just, you know, your passion to serve and to educate our children. You know, it was really impressive. And thank you for all that.
Yeah, I think that is really true. I think parents are finding a newfound respect for teachers.
Yes. That was like day one.
Homeschooling is not easy.
Oh, it ain't.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Our next performer is an actor, a sports announcer, and in 2018, he won the Dancing with the Tri-Valley Stars Championship. You can see him in Jimi Kendrick, now available on Amazon Prime. In this monologue, he plays a no-nonsense high school teacher that is dealing with students that are entitled, and he feels betrayed by them despite trying to help them. This piece is from the film Pictures of You. Here's David Lewis.
Good morning. Pass your homework forward, please. Let me tell you an interesting story about how I spent my afternoon yesterday. I spent 2 hours in the principal's office. Now you guys know I can send you to the principal's office, but I bet you didn't know that you could send me to the principal's office. Apparently, a number of you have been complaining to your mommies and daddies that my tests are too hard. And I find that fascinating because I base my tests entirely on the lectures I give you and the readings from your textbook. I'm not just pulling this stuff out of my ass. Well, God forbid I prepare you for how tough college is, let alone the real world. So here's the deal. You guys are going to make the semester. It's 25% of your grade. I'm going to let you create it. You're confused. I'll explain. It works like this. Each of you is going to make your own version of the exam. I don't care. True, false, multiple choice, short answer, it's up to you. Next Monday, you'll turn that in. Then I'll pick the exam I think is the best one. And that's the one you'll all take. Hopefully, the person who made the exam will get an A. That's for the rest of you. No matter how poorly you do, you won't be able to blame it entirely on me, right? Right? Any questions? Thank you.
I could feel your pain and exasperation. That was really good. Well, just for different reasons, though. So you knocked that off the park. All right. How has high school been for you?
Well, high school for me was a mixed bag. I dealt with some bullying. And so I know it's been pretty topical over the last few years. So I'm very sensitive to that and certainly would love to speak out on that whenever possible. And kids are a little bit different now. There's a little bit of entitlement, that participation trophy culture we live in where everybody wins. So I don't think that prepares you for what's happening in the real world.
That's very true. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you. And I get the honor of introducing our final monologue performer tonight, the Millie Rachel Thomas, who always was looking for a challenge, so she wanted to be a host and a producer, despite, in her own words, being maddeningly non-technical, but still pulled it off. She began her acting career in 2017, a lot of short films. I had a chance to see her last summer down in Morgan Hill. It was a play called Dr. Rowan, Demon and Love. She absolutely crushed it. She studies at the Hive Storytelling Studio. Of course, we know her from Matthew Berry Teaches, and she's in touch with her emotions as an actor. If that's not enough, she also is a licensed psychotherapist. As for this monologue, she's playing the mother talking to a daughter about an event that isn't going well because she's so concerned about every little detail. Every little thing has to be perfect. Anybody know someone like that? Yeah, I don't either. Anyway, this monologue comes from the English play 14 by Alice Gerstenberg. Amelia has replaced all the European names with Indian names of her own. I'm ready. Let's bring her on. Millie Rachel Thomas.
I will go mad. I will never entertain again. Never again. Huh? People ought to know whether they're coming or not, but they accept and regret. Regret and accept. They drive me wild. This is my last dinner party. Huh? My very last. I had arranged everything so beautifully. Now, how shall I seat them? How shall I seat them? If I put Mr. Khan here and Mrs. Malini there, then Mrs. Khan has to sit next to her husband. And then if I want to put Mr. Fernandez there, oh, it's impossible. I might as well put their names in a hat and draw them out at random. I am through. I am through with society, with parties, and with friends. I wipe my slate clean. I am going to live for myself. I am going to be selfish, unsociable, hard, and drink my own liquor instead of offering it free to the whole town. I am through. I am through with men like Bhaskar Bhattacharya. I don't care how rich you are or how influential you are or how important you are. They are nothing without courtesy and consideration. Business. Off on a train. Nonsense. They didn't want to come. They didn't want to meet her. They didn't want to marry my sweet little girl. Well, he's not good enough for you, huh? Don't marry him. Don't you dare marry him. I will not let you marry him, huh? If you try to elope or anything like that, I will break it off, huh? I would. Bhaskar Bhattacharya will not get any recognition from me. He is beneath our notice. Thank you. This is going to be our last performance for the night. It is my pleasure to introduce you to her, to you all. She's a stand-up comedian. She regularly performs at the Cobb's and the Punchline comedy clubs in San Francisco. Here is Eerie Diamond, and you all can turn on your mics.
Hi.
I feel like we have a little bit of an echo. That's weird. Guys, this has been wonderful. I'm so excited. I have to tell you, I don't know how you guys have been feeling, but I've been feeling a little bit weird with the whole lockdown, like not dating and stuff. You know what I mean?
Tell me about it.
Thinking about like the last time I went on a Tinder date. Okay. It was weird. What happened? Okay, so like in the middle of the date, I actually said out loud, wow, I am out of your league. Yeah. And here's the thing, it was really awkward because we were already having sex and yeah. But he was really cool. He's like, you want me to stop? And I'm like, well, let me finish first. But the point is, yeah, girl. Thank you. I don't know. Okay, guys. I used to be kind of slutty. You know what I'm saying? Like a little bit slutty. Like, here's the thing. I slept around so much. I might have some kids out there I don't even know about. You know what I mean? Like,
hey yo.
Wear condoms. A little bit about me. I'm pretty sure I'm a werewolf. So, yeah. Here's how I know. Whenever I go out drinking, there is a point in the night when I black out, you know, and that's probably when I'm changing, right? And I know. And then when I wake up, I don't know where I am or how I got there. Usually like a half a burrito laying next to me. No, I know. And you guys are, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey, Eerie, it only happens when you drink. So maybe you're not a werewolf. Maybe you're the Hulk. Okay.
That's just what we were thinking.
No, and I thought about that too. However, the Hulk always wakes up with pants on, so no, that can't. No way. I listen, guys. I've only got like a minute left. I want to leave you guys with a cautionary tale. The last time I was out, like in the world, I went to a movie theater. I was going to a movie, and I was in line to get tickets, right? And behind me were these two little people, this couple, right? And I turned around and I was like, you guys, if you want, why don't I let you borrow my raincoat? And one of you can get on the other one's shoulders, put it on. You only got to pay for one ticket, right? Right? But this is what I found out. And I don't know if you guys know this, but what I found out was that little people don't like awesome ideas. Did you know that?
Go figure.
Yeah, right? And then the other thing I figured out is that little people have like average sized person anger. Did you guys know about that? Like no idea. Thank you guys very much. I'm Eerie Diamond. Millie?
Hilarious.
Hilarious. I could relate to some of the things that I have.
Wait, say that one more time, Millie. I couldn't hear you.
It was hilarious. It was funny. I could relate to some of your things because I live with two little munchkins, and they think whatever they say is awesome. That was really good. How did you get started into stand-up comedy? And any funny story there?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I don't have a great story about when I got started in stand-up. But I will tell you one thing. My influences are Gene Wilder and Madeline Kahn when I was a little kid, who are not stand-up comedians. However, I wanted to be as funny as they are. And the first time I tried comedy, it was terrifying. It was so terrifying. I almost passed out. I actually had 3 minutes and I left the stage before my 3 minutes were up. I was so scared. And then the second time I did comedy on an open mic must have been maybe 2 years later. And I went up and I had my set like 5 jokes and I was like, yeah. And I got laughs, and it was that first time I got that, like, you guys know what this is when you get an audience reaction and you're just like, oh, and that's what I got. And I got off stage and I was like, hell yeah, I'm doing this. And then I got booked on a showcase like that night by somebody that was in the audience. So it's any of you know it's a drug when you get in front of people and you get that laugh and you're just like, yeah, because laughs are not voluntary. So there you go. That's my take on stand-up. It's terrifying and horrible and you want to quit every time, but then it's like a drug at the same time. So there you go.
I truly believe that. All right. That is our show. Thank you all to the performers, and thank you all for the audiences for spending Sunday night with us, Monday morning with us, and Monday afternoon with us. We hope to do more shows, so keep an ear out for all what's coming next. Thank you for supporting the arts. Stay safe and stay sane. We will have, just like a live theater, we will have our performers hang around here for 5-10 minutes. If you have any questions, say hello. You're welcome to interact with them. And that's it. Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Bravo!
Yay, awesome.
Great job, Millie, hosting and putting this all together.
Yes.
Such an amazing
Good
job,
job, Millie.
and you put in so much work, and we're so grateful.
Hey, Millie.
Good job, Millie. Thanks.
Yep, great work.
Thank you.
Phew.
Any questions? Anything?
I just can't wait to go to Blondie's again.
Uh-oh, I see a Matthew Berry. Do I spy? Oh my goodness.
Is he here?
Yeah, he just popped up.
Oh, Matthew!
Hey, Matt.
Matthew,
Hi, Matt.
Thank you for coming and watching us.
Hi, guys.
How you feel, Millie?
Good. This is a drug. Yeah, I'm feeling high.
Good job. Good job. Perfect monologue too, Lily. Good job, everybody.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
I just am wondering, like, even with the given circumstances, does anybody have anything currently going on or coming up with film? Like I myself, for instance, am on set right now, which is why I couldn't be a part of the show. But this is the first time, in months. And it's been like amazing just being out here again. So I'm just wondering, do you guys have anything coming up and like what's going on with everybody? Anything
I
special?
have a film coming up. Derek is in it too, but I don't know when we're going to resume shooting. They started shooting the film already, and now we're kind of like waiting to see when we can be on set again. I don't know, Derek, if you know anything more than that.
The latest I heard was mid-July. Coming back mid-July. Yeah.
Okay.
I booked a role for an indie film here in Benicia that they're going to start kicking off in late July, and they're making everybody get coronavirus test and cool guidelines. Yeah, you gotta have your paperwork and mask on set and all that. So,
right.
Obviously when you're on the camera, there's no mask, but
Right.
do normal for now.
I just ran through a shoot today with 8 actors at our studio in Milpitas, and you can see the corona mask beard issue that happens because of that. This is our second shoot actually since the coronavirus. We had our first shoot was last week on Wednesday. It's actually a 7-day shoot that continues next week. But we had to put all these COVID protocols together. Again, mask everybody, all these zones, zone A, zone B, zone C, trying to follow, the LA protocols that they put out as best as possible. It's a trip, but everyone was so excited and so happy to be here.
Yeah.
And just,
Wonderful, wonderful.
I'm waiting for Matt Berry to give me a job.
Coming up. It's coming up. I'm trying, guys. I got a couple of films. I got offered 3 films over the weekend, so I have to read them.
Wow. Nice, yay!
Yay!
So yeah.
Look, Dano.
Yeah, no, it's some guy out of Minnesota. So I'm
That works.
I am anxious as soon as I sign the deals, and then I can start putting people on tape.
Congratulations, Matthew.
All be on tape, which is great.
Very nice, very nice.
So this ain't my show. This is Millie's show. So
Billy, I just want to tell you congratulations one more time. You did such a good job. And I don't know if you're aware because, you're caught up in the show, but you had at one point like 78 participants, 78, 80, somewhere around there. It was a lot.
I saw 79 at one point.
79. Yeah, you did really, really good. This was really fun to watch. You guys are so awesome.
You're a great audience, Jeannie.
This ensemble is just rock solid.
Matthew is very cool.
Hey, Lara, you're there.
Next time.
All right.
Good.
Bye, you guys.
So I think we have no questions. I don't know whether I couldn't read any of that, but I think
It's just us chickens.
it's just. So thank you, and I think I should go and write talk show host my resume.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And producer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bye,
Millie. Thank you.
And good night. Thank you.
Good night. Great job.